Many thanks for joining the show. It is Breakfast Central on News Central. Now we're talking about the unemployment gap in an unemployed, or do we say unemployed economy? Well, we have a guest right here, but before we bring in the guest, young people between the ages 15 and 24 constitute roughly about 20% of sub-Saharan Africa's population, and that's making it the youngest continent in the world, and this is according to the African Union as of 2019. Now, while this trend is an opportunity for increased creativity and innovation, it's also a risk for many youth in the region, not just in education, but in employment or even training. Now, as the number of young people continues to rise, World Bank estimates that by 2050, half of the 1 billion people in sub-Saharan Africa will be under the age of 25, highlighting the importance of creating employment opportunities for Africa's youth. Joining us this morning in flesh and blood is Mayowa John Ajibodu, founder of Shun Unemployment and also the author of the book Adventures of an Unemployed Graduate. Such a title.
Thank
Adventures. You. Thank you so much for joining us. Now, Mayowa, let me even start by we're chatting just before we came on air, sure. And I was trying to find out from you how long it took you to gain admission into school. Now, it took you about 3 years.
Yes, that's correct.
Because you wrote JAM in Nigeria. It's JAM that you used. You wrote JAM 3 times to gain admission into school. Before you struggled to get the admission. You struggled to stay in school.
Even in school.
Because, for a 4-year course, it took you like 6 years.
6 years, that's correct.
Now you graduated from school.
And then getting job, integrating into the society was a struggle.
Is it safe to say that is what actually brought about the inspiration to writing this book?
Yes, sort of. I remember when I wanted to start Shun Unemployment in 2013. So I came to Lagos, as a young boy trying to hustle, from Ibadan actually. Came to Lagos trying to hustle, trying to do stuff.
I'll send you the link.
And I said, okay, I needed to start up a magazine, to advertise for people. And I just finished school. 2011, 2012. So, looking for people who are going to partner with me, I saw that a lot of people submitted their CV. Among those who came were people who graduated like 5 years way before me. So I felt, okay, something must be wrong. Is it that there are no jobs or there are no things to be done? What is making this set of people to be looking for a job in 2013? People who have been graduated for about 5 years. So it just tells you that there is a bit of gap, in fact, a lot of gap, between the school, what we get in the school, and what we practice in society. The school, just like I said, the school prepares you for pleasantry, helps you to exchange greetings, helps you to speak good grammar, dress well, know how to use the cologne, know how to use the perf. But how does the school really prepare you for the real life?
We're talking about theory versus practical.
Exactly.
Now, before you go on, I also have Joe with us here. Joe is also in the other studio right now. He's also here. Joe, I believe you just heard clearly what Mayowa is saying now, talking about the unemployment gap in an unemployed or employed economy.
I could hear him. He's also passed through the 4 walls of the challenges that comes with unemployment. So Mayowa is, I would say, he's taking his time out to do his research, and that's why he's here. But I want to ask you, Mayowa, there's a situation of, yes, there's some people who are unemployable, even though there are no longer jobs, in quotes, but there are some jobs that are available, but you have people who are unemployable. Are you also taking note of this as well, or do you have anything to say concerning this one?
All right. So I think I need to say this, that when opportunity doesn't come, okay, it's important that we build the door. So if you're not employable, it means that white-collar employments are not available to you anymore. But there are so many things you can do outside of white-collar employment. You see, I tell people that unemployment is a state of mind, and it affects just the individual with limited information. All you have to do, either you are employable or you are unemployable, is gain access to information. There are opportunities outside of white-collar employment. There are so many employment. There are so many colors. There are blue collars. There are black collars. So find the color that suits you if white-collar employment is not coming forth.
Mayowa, yes, we understand the path of find something that is useful. But for someone who spent 6 years in university, you gave your sweat and blood to go through the 4 walls of a university and to come out and still not get a job. Reports have come out to say that 30% of the millions of Nigerian students who attend the 4 walls of a higher institution, just 30% of the millions are employable. How true is that?
I think that's correct. And I even say the figure should be lesser, Because I can tell you that some of the challenge we face in Shun Unemployment has been getting people to filling into positions, getting people who are qualified, who are capable to handle. In fact, some of them, you give them opportunity, you ask them to go for interview, they don't show up. or at the point of interview, they get there and they miss all the whole point. You understand? So I think the figure is correct, but I say that rather than facing the problem, rather than focusing on the problem, think of where to create solutions. Because, okay, I finished after university, I spent 6 years, I finished from university, there is no job. Does that mean I will not survive? Does that mean I will not put food on my table? I need to find something doing legally. And there are so many opportunities here in Nigeria that we can do. And that's what we preach.
Right, Joe, I mean, he's coming out to tell us now that we need to find something to do legally, even if you don't get that job opportunity you're looking for, even if you don't get that dream job that you want.
I like the word legally. And Mayowa, I'm just going to ask you, but don't you think that what you're doing here needs to be amplified, because we're having a case or cases where so many youths are involved in cybercrime, and when they're caught, you hear it's because there's no job, it's unemployment. What are you doing towards curbing this or helping the society, if I would put it that way?
Honestly, we talked about this in the foundation recently, and that's why we're coming up with a center. So the center serves two purposes, more like a rehabilitation and empowerment center. Because late last year, when the coronas, the pandemic started and all of that, we realized that majority of the people who are unemployed are the same people who contribute to the social vices we see. There are the same guys who do illegal things and all of that. So what if we have a rehabilitation center? We rehabilitate these people, make them see that their life can be better. Make them see that there are so many opportunities outside this thing they do. And then also empower them, integrate them into the society and provide them opportunities and jobs that can, be putting food on their table. So these are some of the things we have in plan in Shun Unemployment. But however, I will say this again, because I'm a believer of good works. I'm a believer of hard work. I've been there. Trust me, I have been there. I've had cases, I have to do car wash. I've had to do bricklaying job, to earn a living. And here I am in Lagos, own my own company, have staff that I pay and all of that. I didn't just start overnight. It took me a while. There was a process. There's always a shining light at the end of the tunnel. So you need to understand that process. It might be painful at first, but, give in your best. And that is what you need. The universe has a way of rewarding you for your effort. It has a way of rewarding you for your hard work. Don't be limited by the excuses and say, okay, because this is not working. No, there are things that are working. You just have to find them.
All right, Mayowa, before we let you go, because of time, I wish we could just keep you right here in studio and ask you so many more questions. But before we let you go, I mean, it's been a wonderful time, but how can people reach out to you? How can people reach out to send you more questions on this? Very briefly.
I think the best will be via email, shununemployment@gmail.com. Just SHUN unemployment@gmail.com, and you can pick, and then you can check us online on Google and all of that. We are there. So I'm sure when you type the name on Google, of course, you should be able to see details.
All right, Shun Unemployment is what you should look out for. Thank you so much, Mayowa. Mayowa John Ajibodu, founder of Shun Unemployment. We wish you the very best.
Thank you so much.
As you move ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, you just heard that from Mayowa himself talking about the unemployment gap in an unemployed, or do we say an employed economy.